All right, you guys, so I tweaked my knee from kickboxing about, I don't know, over a month ago. I didn't really give myself enough time to recover. I ended up jumping back into my routine a little bit too soon. I went back to kickboxing and it flared up again. I had friends and family in town that had me, walking lots. I ended up doing like a 5K walking home one night, like drunk with the boys. Probably should have just got a taxi cab, but I just walked in vans for way too long and that flared it up. So I've healed this injury like a couple times. I've gotten it back to around 80-90%. And then I overtrained and it took me back to say 40-50%. Now, if anybody has dealt with a muscle strain, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I've dealt with this a couple times with my knees, and I've also had a bicep strain. So I have a little bit of experience when it comes to muscle strain. You'd think enough now where I could heal myself back to recovery sooner than later, but often it's never as quick as you want it to be. So first things first, if you do come across a strain, you feel like you've tweaked something, just stop what you've been doing and rest, okay? Like RICE method, rest, ice, compress, elevate, before you get back into exercising. Once you feel like you're at the next stage, you kind of have to just go back to basics with your exercise. You shouldn't just go right back to weightlifting. Do body weight first. So in my case, I injured my knee, so I'm not going, when I'm feeling like 80-90%, I'm not getting back in the gym doing a full weighted leg workout. I'm starting at home and I'm just doing basic exercises like squats, seated, like leg setting, where I'm just basically having my legs completely straight, pulling my toes back, and I'm flexing my quads and I'm trying to touch the back of my knees to the ground. So nothing where I could potentially injure myself or overtrain. So I'm doing these exercises 1 to 2 weeks. Once I feel really strong in these and I'm squatting without any aggravation, or I'm not getting sore after doing these rehab exercises, which you should kind of get a little bit of soreness. It's normal for getting the muscle back into training, but you need to strengthen it. So you do have to slowly progress those exercises. So eventually I'm going to be back in the gym, but until then, it's being very careful, not ego lifting, not rushing back into your regular routine, seeking professional help if you need it, going to see an athletic therapist. I would recommend someone who works with athletes, getting them back into their sport-specific routine, right? And don't worry about the time that you're taking off. It takes a lot of time to build muscle, and it takes a lot of time to lose it. Muscle memory is amazing. I've gone through so many injuries. It's kind of just a part of the game. Every time I've been able to get back, get stronger, and further progress despite any setbacks. So train hard, lift safe, train smart. Don't be an ego lifter. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Don't get FOMO because you can't get to the gym and you see everybody posting that they're in the gym, getting pumps, making TikToks. Okay, there's no rush in this. So I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, drop them below. Visit the link in my bio if you need some one-on-one coaching. Otherwise, all of the links there are to my other socials. So check them out. Thanks for joining, and stick around because we got some really entertainment. Stick around because we got some entertaining content coming up.